Hello, this is Photography Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm having a look at Death Stranding's new photo mode. They added it recently, so we're going to have a little breakdown of what you can do. Then I'll show you some practical examples and then I'll show you a few shots that I've taken. So here we are. We're just going to find a little spot to start the photo mode. You click in the left touchpad to do that. So first we've got the angle. Angle is like a zoom. We can use a crane effect with the triggers. What have we got? We've got a rolling effect. So if you're doing an action shot, I'd recommend roll because it gives a nice kind of like a motion to it. You can turn the user interface off, which is good. You can turn signs off and the scanner information as well because you don't want those in your photos really. What can we do? We can show Sam or delete him. So if you want to do landscapes, you can get rid of Sam altogether. You can change his pose and there's a lot of options, which is really helpful. You can also do his expression, change his eye line, and you can also get Sam to face the camera because that's sometimes an issue when you're taking these photos. Your character isn't looking in the right place, but they've definitely given you a lot of options here, which I think is really helpful. So plenty of settings here to tilt. We won't change any of those. Okay, next we've got BB, so we can put BB's light on. We can change BB's expression, where BB is looking, and the light intensity. So that's nice feature. Depth of field, so we can autofocus on Sam, that's very helpful. Aperture goes from 22 to about, what was it, 4 or something. That's kind of, you can get a nice blurry effect. Brightness and filters, so we've got good exposure and contrast editors. The filters are pretty varied, like I quite like them, they haven't gone too far with them. And we have a nice effect slider, so if you just want to change the tinting a little bit, you can just add a subtle amount. So I think they've done a really good job with the filters. They've also got noise, which some people don't put noise because they like it smooth, but noise is very good. It gives a bit of gritty atmosphere and texture to images, so don't be scared of putting noise in. Lens effects, we have a vignette. So vignettes are good for kind of accentuating the center of the image. You know, they create a dark bordering. We can distort lenses, or chromatic aberration creates this kind of weird blurry effect. Wouldn't recommend it all the time, but it's a nice option to have. Then we've got framing, logos, so if you want to make it look like an official kind of poster, you can kind of do that, and there's a whole lot of options here as you can see. And that's pretty much all of the options, so there's quite a lot there. We can put the grid up as you've seen there, so I usually put the eye line 2/3 up, just feels like a nice balance. So once we frame it, we can maybe, yeah, we'll just take a shot of that. But let's do some more practical examples. Okay, here we are. We're on like a cliff face, so I like this kind of skyline. Right, we need to reset the settings. So framing wise, it's not too far off. So maybe we'll come in a bit and we'll get the grid up so we can kind of balance the 2/3. What should we do? Let's change the depth of field. Autofocus. We'll drop the aperture down to about 1.4. So a nice misty, blurry background. Bit of contrast to define the distance. Maybe exposure, yeah. Filters, what have we got? Mars, BT. Let's stick with that one, but we'll drop it down a bit, add some noise, maybe put a little vignette on this perhaps. So we can change positions, but I think I liked the original position. I think that one's quite good. Maybe we'll cut in, zoom in a little bit just to kind of define it, make it lose some of the waste, but I think that's not too bad. Just a little bit more, we'll lose the bit on the bottom, and we'll screenshot that and move on to the next one. Okay, we are in some kind of desert. There's a motorbike, or whatever they are. Sunglasses are on, so I'm thinking let's do something gritty and black and white. So let's sort of try and frame it. Let's go very close. Nice kind of like head and shoulders, maybe portrait. Maybe use some of that junkyard stuff in the background to give it some texture. So let's go right in. Yeah, so we've got the handlebars. I think that's kind of nice. Maybe up a bit more. Just get the right angle. So we've got all the dodgy old cars in the background. He's got his glasses on, so I can't see his eyes, so we don't really need to worry about that. Let's BB. Let's put the light on and get BB to do something fun, like smiling, or there you go. That looks quite cool. We'll go with that one. Let's blur the background a little bit. Just maybe like an 8 on the aperture. Okay, I think we maybe drop the colour out because I think I preferred it in black and white. Noir, let's go noir, 100% effect, and then we just bump up the exposure, maybe drop contrast. A nice strong contrasty black and white shot. I think that's cool. I like that. That's not too bad. Well, there you go. That's Death Stranding's photo mode. It's a pretty good mode. It's got a nice amount of functionality. You've got good filters. You've got good editing options. The zoom effect's pretty nice. You've got lots of nice different stance changes. On the screen at the moment, you're looking at a few photos I've taken with it. So if you're creative with filters and the positioning of the camera and the lighting, you can do all sorts of cool stuff with this. So I would recommend it.